What's up, guys? Today's plan, we're going to be doing squats, ground to overhead kettlebell swings. So, my way of doing things, pick rep range, not a rep range. I'm going to pick reps and I'm going to hit them, okay? So, with the squats, I'm doing 20. And then I'm going to go 20 with the kettlebell swings. This, I'm going to be doing 3 sets of this superset. So, for example, if I'm doing these squats and I get to, say, 15 or whatever, and I have to rack it, that means that I have 5 more before I move on to my next part of the superset. So, it's like, oh yeah, I trained to failure or whatever, I do some forced reps. No, I do some forced reps, all right? So, you keep going until you get to that 20. You don't stop at 12 and say, okay, my set's done. You get it done, you get the whole 20 done. So, with this superset, you have 1 set every 3 minutes. So minute 0, minute 3, 6, and so on. We're doing 3 sets of this. Now what this does is it really pushes those forced reps because you're not waiting 5-10 minutes until you're like fully recovered, sitting around on your phone, whatever. You're getting in, getting your set done, forcing those reps out, waiting just that little bit of time, and then going into your next set. Now, this is something where that 3rd set is easy for you. You need to be adding more weight, okay? Push yourself. All right, guys, so you got a 5-minute break after your last superset, after the 3 minutes. So say you got done in 2 whatever, 3 minutes, then you start your 5-minute break, and then we're going into front rack box step ups. Now this box should be just a little bit above your knee, whatever, because when we step up onto it, we want that to break parallel. So we want the hip to be below the knee once we put that foot up there. So we're going to do 20 of these to be 10 per leg, and then we're going to go 10 overhead squats, okay? So front racket right here. Now if this is really uncomfortable for you, you can go this way. I just prefer my hands out here. So same thing, you're forcing until you get those 20 reps before you move on, okay? So we're going up. Alright, so you get those done, then overhead squats. Now if these don't work for you, you can do 2 things. You can use this box, the overhead box squats. Maybe you want to lower the box a little bit, right? And if those don't work, then just do front squats right afterwards. But the overhead squats, we want to create the stability, balance, and mobility to do overhead squats to make everything else better. So we're really working on the strength here, and then when you're fatigued, it almost feels like a drop set here, going to these 10 overhead squats, just because of the difficulty of them. So, same thing, we're going an E3 mod, every 3 minutes on the minute, right? I'm going 20 of these, 10 per leg, and 10 overhead squats. That is pretty much it. So, short and effective. This leaves room if you want to do cardio right after. I ran, like my warm-up, I just ran a half mile, and then, or jogged, jogged a half mile, and then stretched a little bit. Foam rolled, any spots that I needed foam rolling, and then stretched a little again, right? Get all warmed up and ready to go. Started off with a little bit lighter weight for my first squats, but after that, I was warmed up. Didn't have to warm up for my step-ups or anything like that. My legs were good to go. This is more of like a sarcoplasmic type hypertrophy, so you're really just chasing the pump. So your legs should feel huge, like they should feel pumped up, full of blood. Get a little bit of cardio breathing in there with those short rest times. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, this isn't something that's, like, you're gonna get some strength in there just because at the end, like maybe your second set in, you're splitting your last ones up into 5, so you're gonna be breaking the muscle down a little bit. But this is nowhere near like a 5x5 or an 8x3 or something like that, right? This is so that would be like myofibrillar, like that strength training, that would be like myofibrillar hypertrophy. This is more for just the pump. That's all I'm doing right now, because later I'm hoping to go on a bike ride or a longer run. So I'm pretty excited about the bike ride, but the only bad thing is most of the bike trails around here are flooded out, so I won't necessarily get to go on the bike trails, but no worries, I'll just ride down the road, to whatever. All right, so, man, try this out. Make sure you're tracking your weights that you're doing, so if you're not meeting those 3 minutes, don't just drop a bunch of weight off. If you're not meeting the 3 minutes, go 4 minutes. Maybe give yourself a little extra time and go 4 minutes, but write down your weight. Write down that you did every 4th minute on the minute rather than every 3rd minute on the minute. And then maybe next time try just a little less weight so you can get that every 3 minutes on the minute. Or if you want to go heavier and you want to just stick with that every 4 minutes on the minute and do that. Either way, if you're breathing way too hard and you're just not getting a pump and you're going way too light, we don't want to make this an endurance thing, okay? Because most people will think, oh, 20 reps, that's for endurance. No, you might get 20 reps on your very first set, but most of the time it's going to be like a 12, 4-4, or a 12 and an 8 before you can move on. This is just so you're forcing yourself to keep going, okay? It's not really I'm gonna do all 3 sets, 20 reps unbroken. If you're doing all 3 sets like this, 20 reps unbroken, and you're just getting a little breathing, you're not going heavy enough, okay? Or you're not going through the full range of motion, okay? Range of motion is a big thing. Push yourself, be relentless in this fitness journey. Well, I didn't get to go on my bike ride today because it decided to get a little too cold. It was warm though, but it got too cold.
And now it's snowing!
Yeah, it's like there's snow. Alright, so I'll show you this flooding really quick over the bike trails. It's like pretty high. Alright, you can kind of see it right there. Right there.
There's park benches under there somewhere.
Yeah.
They're completely submerged.
There's like a park. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of where the bike trails go through that lead to the gym, and I was gonna ride my bike to the gym. So that's a no-go for today, but I'll get my cardio in. So I am hungry for pancakes. I want breakfast for dinner. So For my pancakes, to follow my macros, I'm using Kodiak cakes. So this is kind of the easiest way, macro-friendly way to make pancakes that's like simple and fast. Okay, I don't want like 20 ingredients that I'm throwing together and making this mystical pancake, right? So, Kodiak cakes. This one's buttermilk. This one is chocolate chip. I chose chocolate chip. Now, this, and just a half a cup of this, there's 3 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of protein. Okay? So, I use this and 1 egg, and then I put almond milk in mine, so it's unsweetened almond milk, so there's really almost nothing in it. And then for me, I throw some protein powder in. Make sure, if you're going to put protein powder in, it's a protein powder that you can cook with. Some protein powders like clump up and just taste like garbage once you heat them up a little bit. So this one tastes alright. Now, and then also when I use the syrup, I'm using some sugar-free syrup. You can find this anywhere. The macros are super low. So there's 0 fat, 5 carbs, and 0 protein in 2 tablespoons. So pretty low calorie. So I'll measure that out on there. Typically when we get one of these, there's like 10 carbs in a quarter of a cup or something like that. But anyway, so whatever. But now here's what they look like when they're done. Yeah, buddy. Alright, I would try and make these without the protein first and see how you like them. I made mine a little runny, that's why they look kind of flat, but if you don't make them runny, then they get a little bit thick and poofy and taste a little better. But yeah, that's protein pancakes right there. Alright, so macros on these, I forgot, without the syrup, because the syrup is going to vary for you, or if you put peanut butter on, whatever. Anyway, the macros on these are like 40 grams of protein, like 35 grams of carbs, and like 8 and 8.5 or something like that grams of fat. So they're really, really good macro-wise, and that's with the protein in there.